Hello, Mr. Randy Duck, and welcome back for another video. Today I've got two replays to show you in the Tier 7 British medium tank, the Banshee Comet. Now I had a request to get some replays out in this tank, so I've done exactly that. The first one here being on Sigfield line, where it is Tier 8 matchmaking, encounter battle, 2 artilleries in the game, 2 enemy light tanks. Now this skin on this Banshee, for me, it's one of my all-time favourite skins. I just think this tank looks so good. And yeah, I've always had a soft spot for this tank. You've got a small alpha, 140 alpha gun with a rapid reload. So it takes you quite a while to get your damage in, just because of that slow sort of alpha you have. But you do have a decent mobility and 12 degrees of gun depression, so you can be fantastic on the ridgeline. It's a fairly sort of agile, sort of small medium tank. So we managed to pick up a kill here on the enemy light tank, which has allowed us a bit of freedom to push up and try and spot for our team, and try and spot any of the tanks like this enemy tank destroyer, which is caught out in the open. Now unfortunately we don't have that many guns here to put shots in, otherwise this TD probably would have already been dead. I'm trying my best to get as much damage in as I can, and we do pick up a little bit of assistance, but not much on that tank destroyer. Another tank destroyer does get detected, and again we're just going to try and get as much damage in as we can. You do have, on this tank, I think the penetration on the standard rounds is only 148, with 785 shell velocity, which is not great. On the premium APCR, you have 208 penetration with 981 shell velocity. But so I guess the best thing about this tank is that 12 degrees of gun depression, being fairly nimble, and just a skin. I mean, I just really like the skin. I mean, the tank's very, very similar to the Tech Tree Comet. Basically, so if you played that, this is pretty much the premium version of that. There's really not a lot of difference. I think there's a tiny few statistics difference between the guns. Other than that, they're basically the same tank. So, fairly even game. You know, it's 11 versus 10. We managed to pick up 2,000 assistance and about 1,000 damage of our own. Trying to hopefully track this tank destroyer in place if we can. If not, just kill him while he's out in the open before he loses his spot. I'd like to get rid of this tank. I don't want that TD at that angle because he could get shots into us if he does manage to lose his spot. So we track him, and again we're struggling to pen him, but now we have the lower plate, we should be able to pick up that kill. And we do, picking up our second kill of the game, putting us on to around about sort of 1,500 damage, 2,000 assistance. One tank up, still very, very close. 2 fun police, 2 enemy artilleries are still in this game. We're going to poke here again. Just trying to extend the vision for my team, try and give us information of where the tanks are, try and pick up some assistance. Probably mainly from our 1 tank destroyer in the middle, or maybe a friendly artillery might be able to give us some assistance if we keep these tanks spotted. But I am concerned that there's still 9 tanks in the game. I'm not really spotting many of them, so I'm thinking maybe there's a few going through the town area. This enemy medium, this tier 8 medium tank, I've got no real way of digging this tank out apart from keeping him detected for our friendly artillery to shoot, because I'm just not going to be able to get over there and kill him. And plus, it's a tier 8 tank and he can actually kill me in potentially 2 shots if he high rolls, or more likely 3. Now there is still an enemy tank destroyer left undetected on the right hand side, because I keep having shots coming this way. Trying to do my best to avoid them. Enemy artillery gets spotted. We are going to use this opportunity to kill this artillery and then try and get out of here as quickly as we can, because the other enemy artillery is looking to kill us. It does splash us there. We're going to try and back up. We don't want to take any more damage, because I suspect that tanks are coming back round through our base now, and I'm going to try and pull back and give this sort of area up now, because I feel like I've done what I can there. I'm not really getting much assistance from the tanks I do detect, and it's too risky with the enemy artillery shooting at me in that position. So I'm going to pull back and try and deal with this medium tank, the full health tier 7 Polish CS medium tank, which is coming through our base. I don't want this CS to be able to overpoke on this hill, because if he does do that, he's going to have 3 shots into our friendly artillery, and I kind of need to keep our friendly artillery alive in this game, because he could come in quite useful to dig out those tanks. So I'm doing my best to try and detect this tank. Now the CS tier 7 medium actually has two guns, one with a higher alpha and one with low alpha, more DPM. I don't know what gun he's using at the moment. We put one shot into him there. He's very, very healthy, so in a straight 1v1 fight, he's probably going to have the advantage on me. But what I'm going to do is just pull him into me and have the cover of our friendly tank destroyers that are making their way over to help us. If we can bring him into our tank destroyers, then we can together make quick work of his tank without having to lose too many hit points. But I just need to bait him up. You see, I'm just waiting. I see this tank destroyer coming in. If he turns to the tank destroyer, then I'm going to go straight in and try and kill him when he tries to kill our tank destroyer. But if he keeps focusing on me, I'm hoping our friendly TD will put a shot into him and we'll kill him one way or another, because he can't look both ways. Meanwhile, our friendly E25 is taking out a tank. I think he just does get shot by our TD. We put one shot in, he does get a shot into us. I think he's using the big gun. We're just going to trade him out now. We should be able to get the finishing kill, which we do. Which puts us on to 3 kills, 2,500 assistance, 2,500 damage. So around about a 5,000 combined game there in the tier 7 medium. So we're having a decent game now with 2 enemy tanks left. I think one's a mill tank destroyer and one's that medium tank, I believe, from early on, which is still in that sort of position in their base. But now, you know, having the 5 versus 2 advantage and the enemy artillery, we should be able to take him out. It looks like it's moved into our friendly E25. Trying to go over there to help our E25 as best as we can, as quick as we can, but our E25 actually manages to take out that Type 5.9 and does a good job doing so. And it's just this one tank, this one enemy mill, which we know where he was last spotted, because we spotted him at the base. He is near the water. We're going to try and get over there, see if we can pick up that, you know, a tiny bit more damage, get that 4th kill. You see the mobility on this tank is nice. It gets across the map very, very quickly. I think you've got a top speed of about 51 kilometers an hour, and it does get there quite well. The Emil actually kills himself rather than die at the end, which is a shame. But that brings us into replay number 1 with one more replay to come. So you see we do pick up the ace tanker, 2,500 damage, 2,500 assistance, and our friendly E25 has a really nice game as well. So that's it for replay number 1. Let's move on to replay number 2. Okay, so here we are for the final replay on Zord Coast. This time is tier 8 matchmaking again. 1 enemy artillery, 1 enemy light tank, and we are platooned up with our PAL Swindle 321 in his Soviet tank destroyer. So initially on this map, we are going to try and... I like to play the left-hand side of the map, not necessarily the beach. I don't like to go down on the beach, because I just find yourself trapped there with not lots of options. You know, sometimes it works, but you don't give yourself a lot of opportunity to have a lot of map control and places to react to. But I do like to play the sort of left-hand side, and I am pushing very aggressively early on, because I do have quite a few tanks with me, and I want to try and trap the enemy team just in their base so they can't try and move forward so much, and have the cover of our friendly tanks behind us. So as we make an advance, I think about 4 tanks get spotted on their way to go into the beach there. We just see if we can spot anything crossing. We haven't done. I'm going to just poke. I know there's a few more tanks here. If I can spot them, I might pick up some assistance. We do spot the enemy Italian medium, who gets slapped, I think, by a Swindle. Unfortunately, I don't take any of the assistance there, which is unfortunate. But now we're just going to push through and just try and get the vision. An enemy 87 gets detected. Now this is not ideal, because we don't have that high alpha gun. We can't really just keep out trading him like this. We do manage to put the 2 in for the 1 shot, but it's not fantastic for me just to keep DPM him. I don't want to trade all my hit points, but I do want to get rid of that tank at the same time, because it's just stopping me leaning in on other tanks. Enemy Tiger P now comes around. This is not good. I'm trying to get myself in a position that if he comes around, he's going to get shot by other tanks. That's not quite happening. We try and track him in place. We're just going to back up, so he has to come in and get shot by other tanks. Be careful not to back too much so we don't expose ourselves to the rest of the tanks. But now I do have support coming in, and this Tiger P's in a bit of trouble here, and we managed to take him out with the help of our friendly medium tank, picking up our first kill and 600 damage. We're going to try and get another shot here into this 87. We're just trying to bait the shots. You know, I really want to just get rid of this tank, and it doesn't seem to be on getting much help doing so. So I'm just trying to just get as many shots in where I can. Now there are tanks on the beach, but I can't quite get shots in them. I tried to drive up this ridge in order to get elevation to get the shots in, which would have worked, but the enemy heavy tank was alert of the fact and he turned to actually look at us, so I don't want to get slapped by the Soviet heavy. I think I get shot by HE there, by the 80, or maybe it's the artillery which splashed us, but make more sense. And we're now on to just shy of half of our hit points. And it's still a very close game. I mean, we're 2 tanks up, but not a great deal has happened so far. And I'm just trying to be cautious. I know the 87 is stopping me moving around to get more angles to get shots in right now. I don't want to give up this position yet, though, because it could be quite useful if we're able to remove that enemy tank destroyer. Just again checking to see if I can get any shots. Just trying to work out a way of getting some easier damage in. I was hoping to just try and increase my elevation by going over there to shoot the tanks on the beach. It's just not going to be possible for us. I'd really want some tanks to start moving up now and closing the distance. If I had a few tanks come to help, I could actually try and battle and get rid of these tanks. But I just need someone to actually come with us basically to share the hit points in this 87. I've decided I'm just going to try and kill him myself, and we're just going to try and bait the shots each time. So far we managed to make him miss 1 shot. We get another one in, he misses again. Now we should be a potential 1 shot to us. We don't roll quite high enough to kill him, but we do leave him on a definite 1 shot there, and we just miss his cupola. But now he's on a 1 shot, he can't really poke out like that. So I'm going to try and come around the back and see if we can finish off this enemy Italian medium tank. 87 was starting to drive forward, so I was getting ready to potentially put a shot in. Still really close game. It's 13-13 right now. We managed to pick up 1 kill and about 1500 damage, but there's still a lot of hit points left in this game. So I was hoping to try and go round and shoot these tanks on in the beach by coming behind them. Enemy heavy tank pops up, KV4, and we managed to take out that tank with the help of our T-67. Putting us under just shy of 2000 damage. Now the enemy artillery gets spotted, we are just going to try and kill this artillery. We're definitely not going to let this artillery live. He is going to start to aim in on us at the moment, but we've got a little bit of cover, but he then gets taken out, putting us under 2400 damage. As I try to go round and get shots onto tanks on the beach, I get detected, and there's quite a few tank destroyers left and still an enemy light tank. So I suspect I don't want to, I don't want to poke and lose all my hit points to sort of a nasty tank destroyer. So trying to just confirm exactly where they're looking for me. It's definitely around about there somewhere. It's not firing, so I don't know if he has a clear shot at us, but this is a little bit awkward. I'm going to try and get onto the beach to try and make a different way across. The enemy light tank gets detected. Now that kind of gives me the information it must have been the light tank which was spotting me, and maybe not one of the tank destroyers. So we're just going to use the beach now to give us the opportunity to close the distance without having to take any punishment. Then we can come up and use our 12 degrees of gun depression to lean over and get shots into these tank destroyers, because only 4 tanks remaining now. The hard part has been completed. It's just about getting the rest of the damage out of this game. So enemy Scorpion gets spotted. We're going to try and get some shots into this tank. We can eat 1 shell off of this if we need to. He actually bounces off of our turret there. We should have the finish on this tank. We do, picking up the 2nd kill. Then enemy Shasha gets spotted. We're going to just try and farm this. We can eat again 1 shell off of this tank if we have to. And given that there's only 2 tanks left, just going to try and get as much in as we can. Try and get a kill shot. Don't roll quite high enough for it, but we do manage to pick up some nice damage out of that tank. And it's a 1 tank remaining, which is the enemy Iron Rain, which has just got spotted. It's fired 2 shells now, and we're just going to farm him at this point. Try and get as much out as we can. Try and get the kill. It's hard to get the kills in a scenario like this when you've only got 140 alpha though. And that does bring us an end to the replay, and we managed to pick up 4000 damage there, 2 kills. We will get the ace tanker as well, about just shy of 1000 assistance. Had again really nice game. And that is it for the video. So yeah, if you do like the content, please remember to like and subscribe. It does really help the channel. Thank you so much for your support, and as always, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!